And these type of measures keep the fat boy from coming back out. I want to be clear that it was self-sabotage. I had food addictions and I did not know that. I was 350 pounds or more, somewhere in there, because I went a long time. I wasn't even weighing myself. When I took my kids to Disney, I remember having to stop and tell them, "Hey, y'all go ahead.
Mm.
I'll I'll catch up with y'all, or I'll catch y'all coming back." So things kind of started there, but it really kicked off was when I was at home and I went up the stairs one evening and I was literally out of breath.
Hmm.
I mean, one flight of stairs.
That's right. Yeah. Ricardo's rules of resilience. Tune in, people. There's every episode is impactful. You become more burly just by listening. Let's go.
Welcome, everyone, to Ricardo's Rules of Resilience, the podcast that gives you the tools to withstand and recover from difficulties. Today, I am joined by special guest Terrence Gartica. He is the owner of Result Fit, a personal training gym in Katy, Texas. He is a NASM certified personal trainer. He is a nutrition coach and a behavior change certification as well. So he knows all about it, and Terrence knows about it from personal experience because he has had to change his own life in dramatic fashion. And I can't wait to let him tell you his story of resilience. Terrence, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, and I'm ready to jump right into it.
Well, Terrence, why don't you give everybody, before we get into the nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty of your story, why don't you give everybody the 30-second elevator pitch of who's Terrence?
Okay, I'm Terrence. I live out in Katy, Texas, and my gym is out here in Katy, Texas. And I got on this journey from my own personal experience, and I'm gonna be glad to share that with anyone today. So hopefully it'll be inspiring and help others who go through anything that I have gone through with my own personal journey in health.
Yeah, and so Terrence, you and I both, people will come to us because now in our 50s, we're personal trainers, right? And,
Correct.
but, we weren't always, neither you nor I, we have that in common. We weren't always living the healthiest lifestyle, right? Life got away from
Very
us.
correct.
But people, look at us now like, oh, well, you're a personal trainer, but they don't realize, no, I became a personal trainer, but I came from where you're sitting right now. Will you talk a little bit about how life kind of and your health kind of got away from you?
Okay, so the first thing I want to start with is making sure I want to be clear that it was self-sabotage. Um,
Mm.
it wasn't anyone, I'm not blaming anyone else, or circumstances, or nothing that life threw any curveballs at me or anything. I just was uh, eating. I had food addictions, and I did not know that
Mm.
in the beginning until I reflected back on my journey. But um, I'll say that for the most part, it was the eating habits I had. I just didn't care what I ate.
Mm.
Really wasn't doing a whole lot of exercising. I would do a little bit here and there, but nothing major. And before I knew it, I was 350 pounds or more, somewhere in there, because I went a long time. I wasn't even weighing myself. So I don't know exactly how heavy I actually got
Mm.
until I got on the mission. And then I was forced to, get on the scale and see where I was at. So um, for me, everything started with I started having, like, when I took my kids to Disney, I remember having to stop and tell them, "Hey, y'all go ahead.
Mm.
I'll I'll catch up with y'all, or I'll catch y'all coming back. So things kind of started there, but it really kicked off was when I was at home and I went up the stairs one evening and I was literally out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one flight of stairs inside of a
Yeah.
home, not a commercial set of stairs that go way up, you know, one set of residential stairs. I
Yeah.
went up those stairs and I was out of breath.
Mm.
And I was started having like chest pains and stuff like that. And so I scheduled an appointment to go to the doctor, and I get there, and of course they do all my blood work and find out that I have high cholesterol, my blood pressure was high, I had sleep apnea, um, and the list goes on. That comes with you know uh, being overweight or dealing
I
with
believe you were
obesity.
pre-diabetic, even, weren't you?
Correct. That is correct. I was pre-diabetic, but my doctor's concern was my blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, he was just talking to me about, medication. And I
Mm-hmm.
really wasn't trying to hear about the medication because be on, I didn't want to become dependent on medication. So
Right.
anyway, I'm listening to him, and then he tells me, well, I'm going to write you a prescription for your um, blood pressure. And I said, well, let's just wait because I'm not gonna take the medicine anyway. And he goes, I need you to take this medicine. You need this medicine. I'm afraid you may walk out that door and stroke out.
That's
And
a
at that
very
moment,
serious warning.
yeah, at that moment, I saw he was serious. So
Mm-hmm.
I asked him, hey, is it that serious? He said, yes, you need this medicine. So I took my chances, and I negotiated with him and I asked him, I said, well, why don't we do this? Let's schedule me to come back in 1 month and
Mm-hmm.
let's see if I can get it down on my own. I'll make some changes because I knew I was eating junk food and, you know, all the stuff that, tastes good, but it's not good for you. I knew I was doing all that. So I said, I have room to make changes. And he said, okay, I'm going to reschedule you to come back. So I went back to the doctor 3 weeks later, and I had tremendously dropped my blood pressure because
Mm.
that next morning I got up and there's a trail near my home. I got on that trail and just started walking every day before my day started. I would do anywhere between 3 to 5 miles just
Mm-hmm.
walking. That's all I did is I walked. I didn't do no weightlifting. I wasn't doing any training. I didn't go hire a trainer or any of that. I just started walking and I cut out or cut back. I didn't completely stop. I'm just being honest about it. I cut back on fried foods and a lot of the sugars.
Mm-hmm.
I started drinking more water. And when I got back to the doctor, he said, what are you doing? Because we are definitely going in the right direction. Um, and if I remember right, I was very close to normal ranges.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so happy that I had brought it down that
Mm.
he was like, okay, it's not exactly where I want it to be. However, I am happy to see the progress. And he said, so whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
I told him the changes I made. And he was like, I wish I could get more patients to do what you're doing. Most of them will just take the medicine, but I
Yeah.
just didn't want to let the medicine, because once you start taking those medicines, a lot of times they'll fix one thing and break another.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I just had I had some major concerns with the medication. So I
Mm-hmm.
chose to give it a try, and I was willing, if I did not make progress, to take the medication, but I was not going to take that medication without an attempt on my own.
Yeah.
So that's how the journey started, and it kind of snowballed into me losing 100 pounds. And it also, that's what led me into the fitness industry. I had someone to basically start asking me, "Hey, what are you doing to lose weight? Can you help me?" And that's how it started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how the whole journey started. So I'm glad that there was never a game plan to open a gym. That was never part of my agenda. It just kind of just happened. The
Yeah.
journey put me on this path.
Yeah, I hope that somebody listening to this either is hearing this from the position you were in or knows somebody. Maybe they're going to send this podcast over to a friend of yours because you were north of 350, winded going up your own stairs in your own
Yes,
house, no energy, life, sleep apnea, all these things. And you just started by just saying, okay, I'm going to start getting up and walking 5 miles. You didn't go hire a personal trainer right away, right? I mean, you just started with the
right.
basics. Here's what
Yes,
I know I can do. And you did that.
exactly.
And then you knew, okay, I got to at least cut back the junk food, right?
Something. Yeah, I have to cut back. I wasn't strong enough to completely stop some of those habits, but I figured if I
Mm-hmm.
could replace something like some of the sugary drinks, I would just
Mm-hmm.
replace it with water.
There
And
we
that
go.
cut out a lot of calories right there. And I didn't know it was that many calories until I started tracking my food. When I started
Mm-hmm.
tracking my food, there's some real serious eye-opening um, facts that you're gonna see, and it's unbelievable. Some of the drinks, I've gotten to where now I pretty much drinking 90% water, 90-95% water. I may have a
Right.
drink every now and then, um, with and not I don't drink alcohol. I've never drank alcohol, so but um, my thing was sweet tea. That was my
Mm.
that
Well,
was
you're
my
from the
water.
South.
Yeah,
You're from
that was my
Texas.
water. I would just drink lots of sweet tea, so cutting back from that was the hardest part. And to this day now, I'm totally in full control of it now. I may have a drink of sweet tea a week, once a week, or maybe even longer than that sometimes. I just don't drink a lot of it now.
Mm-hmm.
Water is pretty much majority of what I do drink.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
amazing.
sir.
A couple of great tips there. One, chew your calories instead of drinking them.
That
And
is so correct. Yes,
the other
yes.
thing, I've started people who wanted my help, whether they were paid clients or just even, people that was just like, what can I do? And I'll tell them, just start tracking your food. Download MyFitnessPal. It's free.
Yes,
And just guess at your portion size. Don't weigh anything because just by you looking at how many calories you got, it's amazing. You're going to see, oh, oh,
right, right. There was um, a moment where when I had to go back for they were checking my sugar levels, and I was, of
Mm,
course, pre-diabetic.
yeah.
And this was even after I got on the journey. The sugar levels were still high, um,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctor told me every time you drink a large glass of sweet tea, you're literally having two meals at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm starting to put these calories in my fitness pal, and I'm seeing some of these drinks 400 calories.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, sometimes I would drink a cup and pour more in there afterwards, so I'm doubling it.
Yeah.
So I found that what worked was, and this came from the doctor, they said to however much, whatever size of sweet tea that you have, you need to have the same amount of water sitting right next to it. And they said to the tea, drink the water first. Every time you take a sip from one, you take a sip from the other, and
Uh-huh.
it'll start taking that desire away. And it did work. It
What a
really
great
worked.
tip.
Yes. So I just followed that rule. Every time I took a sip of sweet tea, I would take a sip of water. Same amount, has to be equal amount. And before I know it, I didn't want those big 32, those big 44 size ounce cups, from the restaurants. Now I only get 20-ounce cups now whenever I do get in, I'll just get a 20-ounce, and I still to this day will have that water right there sipping with it, because I just don't take those chances of that stuff coming back, because part of the journey that if you've ever been, classified in morbid obese, one thing you'll have to understand is the fat boy never leaves. He's always inside. He's always there. He's gonna come out the anytime you're happy. He may try to come out anytime you're sad, or when you're depressed, or excited. No matter what, he's gonna try to come out and entertain you, and you have to know how to keep him suppressed, to where, because he'll never just go away. It's like a constant fight with the devil. Um, and you have to learn how to be in control. And I use my little rules. Even eating, when I'm sitting down eating, I'll eat slow, because if you eat fast, you don't realize sometimes that you're full already, but you
Oh, that
are.
is tremendous.
Yes. So you have to eat slow, and drink water. Take time and sip between. Don't just shove it down your face, because the brain needs time to send the signal, that you're full. And sometimes when you're eating fast, that just doesn't work. So, I've learned to just eat slow. And these type of measures keep the fat boy from coming back out. so, 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 I've learned how to deal with him, and wrestle him, and keep him down, and keep him suppressed, to where he doesn't come out and take over.
Well,
So,
you described it as a food addiction. And,
yes,
when you're in recovery, that is a piece of recovery, of never thinking, oh, I'm cured. I'm never going to struggle with this
never.
again, right? To
Yes,
understanding that, I can't just kick it into cruise control, right? Because then the addiction is going to start winning again.
that's right. That's right. If you're playing with the fire, eventually you're gonna get burned.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to navigate through those addictions. And if you're still somewhat, because the food addiction, most people don't know, it's harder than a drug or alcohol, because you don't have to have alcohol, you don't have to have drugs. Food you have to have. It's
Mm-hmm.
essential. So when you walk in the store, what do they put right in front of you, or right at the cash register? All the stuff that will entice you
Yes.
for them to make money, because sugar is highly monetized. So
Yes.
so
Mm-hmm.
um, you have to just kind of stay focused, and know your boundaries, and know your strengths and weaknesses. So if I overeat, I don't beat myself up. I used to. If I overeat the next day, I'll just cut back. So if I go 1,000 calories over on a Friday, Saturday morning, I'm up, I'm on the trail, or I'm in the gym, and the next day I may cut half of my carbs down, or I may not have nothing, no sugars, and I mean even maybe fruit. The next day I go back to restriction mode if I have
Mm-hmm.
to balance it back out. And this way you don't skip a beat, and you can still enjoy your life and keep going. You know, I know sometimes you may see on social media, people may talk about, eating healthy 100% of the time. It's not reality.
Right.
It's
Right.
not reality. People are going to take some snacks here and there, so the reality is you're going to have to know how to balance this stuff. And it
Yeah.
takes time. It takes time. So,
And that's one of the rules of resilience that I have is the perfect is the enemy of the good.
yes,
Because you start thinking, oh, I got to be perfect. Well, what happens when you do cave in and have that sweet tea? Because it practically flows out of the water fountains in Texas, right? So,
that's right.
what
That's right.
happens when you cave in and
But
have that sweet tea? Are you down on yourself and I had a 7,000 day streak going, whatever?
Yeah,
Or is it what you're saying? Like, I don't have to be perfect to be good, right? I don't
right.
have to go in between these extremes. I can just get right back up. And what you're saying, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up. That is success, is getting up one more
Exactly.
time.
Exactly. That is so
Yeah.
true. That is so true. That's what I encourage is to find your strengths and weaknesses and recognize where you're weak at and you have to face it one on one. And if I know that sweet tea is my weakness, so it got to where it does not come in my house. I do not keep sweet tea in my
Mm.
house no more. I used to keep it in the refrigerator. No, I don't. I, I literally would just go out and have some. And now lately, I've even gotten to where now when I want it, I've just put some raw honey in there, which is a much better option
Yes.
than the the all these fake sugars and added sugars that they're putting in now. And the
Mm-hmm.
food industry is just getting worse and worse. So
Yeah.
you have to really know what you're putting in your mouth, and it's going to take research, and mostly the tracking will do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, talk about two words that don't even belong together: food and industry, right?
Yes,
We already got a problem, right? Because,
so true.
you're trying to, make a living and pay stockholders and give them their dividends. You're not looking out for the quality that's going in me. You're looking at for the money going in your stock on holders' profits, right? So we
Correct.
already got a problem just by the name, food and industry.
That's right. That is so true.
And
Um,
speaking of industry,
mhm.
you loved what you did in your life transformation so much that it began to spill over, and others started asking you. Talk about
Yes.
your journey into the fitness industry.
Um, so I'll tell you how my very first client. So basically what happened is I hired a trainer, and I'm a why person. If I know why we're doing something, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
execute it better.
Yeah.
And if I don't understand why, I may just keep making the same mistake if I don't really know why, you know? So
That's right.
I'll ask questions, and I asked my trainer, um, what, I would, every time when we're doing something or when we're talking about nutrition, I would ask questions. And he really didn't want to answer my questions. He just said, just do this, and without reason. Now, that may work for some people, but that doesn't
Right.
work for me. I need that why, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
um, after that, um, I decided to just go get my own certification. And so I looked into it to find out which one is the most respected. And NASM has a great name. So the National Academy of Sports and Medicine. So um, I went there and got my certification, not to make money, only for knowledge for myself to stay on track. That was the only reason I did it. The day
Mm-hmm.
after I passed the exam, which was their tests were very complicated, but um,
Mm-hmm.
the day after I passed it, I get a call, and someone asked me, could I help them lose weight? And I didn't tell nobody about the certification. So I said, oh, who told you about the certification? And she goes, what certification? Then I knew she didn't know. She said, no, I'm just asking because I need help.
Yeah.
And when she did that, that made me, I felt like that was a sign that
Yeah.
maybe this is something that could help others and go beyond myself, because it was only about me in the beginning. It was just me and my journey. I wasn't worried about
Mm.
anyone else but my journey.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how that got started. And the next thing I know, that was my first client, and she lost 60 pounds in 10 months.
Woo! There we go.
Yes. So, and I was so, I was concerned because I was like, hey, I'm new to this. I don't have much, uh, experience. So I was really doubting myself. But as we were going, all I did is took the same thing that worked for me and applied it to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she followed any homework she had, she did it. She started meal prepping, started tracking her food, and those pounds just started falling off. So
Hence the name Results Fitness,
yes, sir.
because
Yes,
you
sir.
get results.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, I love your approach with clients too. Your no excuses
Yes.
approach. Will you tell everybody about this guy? I just love it. It's phenomenal.
Well, so the no excuse approach came from another experience with myself. Is I kept telling myself I didn't have time to go work out,
Mm-hmm.
um, or I didn't have energy by the time I'm done by the end of the day. I'm tired. So this is what I kept telling myself. So one day I was working in my office, and there's a warehouse right there where we kept all of our products at. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, you know what? I don't need all this warehouse. So I cleared out that stuff and went and got some kettlebells and dumbbells and medicine balls and put some flooring down. And I said, now I've just eliminated my excuse that I don't have time, because while I'm right there in the office,
Mm.
soon as I have a moment where I'm not busy, I was able to just open the door and walk right to the next door right there and to get me a few reps in and come back. And I was basically working out throughout the day. So I learned the power of eliminating excuses. And so
Mm-hmm.
now that's one of my biggest things. Like, so if any clients come to me with excuses, the first thing I'm going to do is eliminate them.
Yeah.
If they say they don't have time, then we will find time. If they say, oh, I was tired when I was done, well, if you don't make time for wellness, you're gonna make time for sickness.
That's
Because if
right.
you get sick, you don't get to dictate, oh, I don't feel like going to the doctor. You're gonna get up and go, because that pain is gonna make you go to the
Yeah.
emergency room, or at least go see your doctor when you have concerns. So
Yeah.
you have to make time for wellness, or you're going to be making time for sickness. And
That's right.
I don't think anyone wants to make time for sickness if they have a choice. If they have a choice. But that's
Yeah.
my thing, is that you have to take those excuses out of your head. And that's what happened when I uh, converted that warehouse into, and that warehouse is only 200 and something square feet, 275 square feet. And I
Tiny.
used that, very tiny. And
I
I
mean,
would
that's a
go in there.
living room, you know?
Yes. And I would go in there and work out. And there, this way, the time I eliminated that time. Now I know everybody doesn't have a warehouse that they can just convert over next door from where they're working at. However, to do some push-ups,
Yep.
sit-ups,
Yeah.
some bicep curls,
Yeah.
squats, all that stuff. All you need is 5 square feet. So, so, so you do not need a lot of space. So in between your sets, I always tell people, when you're working, when you get up and go have a break, take a walk. Then don't just walk to the restroom and come right back. Take you a few minutes, walk a few more times, just get a few more steps in, and eventually, before you know it, you're having 8 to 10,000 steps in a day, just by the time you finish working.
I
Same thing when you're
so
going to the stores, like a Walmart, or if you're at Target or something, wherever you shop at. Go shop at Park your car at the back of the parking lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't drive around all day looking for the one in the front. Park way at the back and get those extra steps in, and they add up. They really do add up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you give a client homework, whether it's some bicep curls at your desk or some squats
Yeah.
behind the counter, you give them homework and they don't do it. What do you tell them?
Well,
I love
when
this.
when they usually when they say they don't do it, most of them are not honest with themselves. The first thing they'll say is, "Oh, uh, I couldn't get to it because my boss had me to do some extra work, and I had to work an extra 2 hours." And
Hmm.
I'll always right there, and I'll say, "Well, you mean you didn't do it? You chose not to do it. It's not that you couldn't do it, because I see your arms right here, so you could do it. So the arms are still there, so you could have done it. You just
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to you just have to make the time. So
Yes.
if you don't have time, or if your schedule's very busy, then you can do stuff in between if you have to. All I'm saying is there's a way to make it work. You just have to tell yourself this is what you're going to do, and it's non-negotiable. And that's what happened with me with the office warehouse situation. I
Mm-hmm.
made it non-negotiable that I don't have time and I'm too tired. I said, okay, well, by the time I'm off work, I'm really going to be tired now because I'm going to be working out in between.
Yeah.
And little did I know, I would have more energy because you get more blood flow and circulation, and now your
Mm-hmm.
energy's up. So it, I know it sounds weird, but when you work out, you actually have more energy.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I try to do is I try to just take the excuses out of the head because the worst person you can fool is yourself. You can fool other people. You can try to fool me, that's fine, but you're fooling yourself is where you're gonna have the problem at because you'll be stuck in the same position and in the same mentality if you don't get rid of those excuses. And I realized I had a million of them. I had all kinds of
Mm.
excuses whenever the the 350-pound version of me came with a lot of excuses. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of excuses. I've even gone to the gotten to the airport because we didn't have time and I had to get to the airport. And while I'm at the airport, I'm pacing up and down, getting steps in. So
Yeah.
I just find a way to get extra steps in. Not saying you have to take time, carve out time of your day and run down to the gym. You don't have to do
Yeah.
that to be on this journey. You can
Yeah.
find ways. So the first thing you have to do is eliminate all excuses, or you're gonna stay stuck in the same spot.
Excuse elimination.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
no excuse. We have no excuse policies in the gym. We don't we don't take them. And I love to. I say no. Let's say it's say I chose not to do it. Not
Yes.
I couldn't do it. Just say I chose not to because if you start hearing the truth enough, you'll realize, oh, I got to change that. I have to change
Yeah.
this. So that's why no, let's just be honest and we take it from there and you'll see change after that because you'll see a different mentality.
That is profound. The truth will
Yes.
set you free, won't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That is profound. I love that. I mean, I'm getting chills over here, honestly, just hearing you say,
It
speak the truth to yourself often enough,
it,
and you're going to
it saved
change.
me. Yes. It saved me. I probably would be on medication now if I did not get rid of those excuses because that was one of mine. I didn't have time. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to get up a little bit earlier and start my walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all have the same amount of time. We just got to prioritize because if you want to do something, you'll find a way. That's usually they'll find a way to get something done if they really, really want to do it. It's just not a priority to you. And for
Yeah.
me, that was the priority because I did not want to start taking all that medicine.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Well, and to be to the point where you're knocking on death's door when the doctor's saying, "I seriously think
Yes.
you could walk out the door and have a stroke." I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yes. He looked me straight in my eye and I saw he was not playing around. And that is when the switch went off. And
mm-hmm.
that's when I said, okay, that's it. It's time to make some changes. I'm going to have to fix this. And it worked. It definitely worked. No medication. I did not take no medication to lose any weight, not 1 pound. And I know this may sound crazy, but if you can lose 1 pound in your head, you can lose 200 pounds off your body if your body can afford to take that off. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to lose it a pound in your head first. And that's part of the no excuse thing. You have to just non-negotiable. It has to be non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And type of mentality I believe you took when you decided you wanted to become a business owner, a minority business owner in an industry where you had not spent your career. You hadn't gone to school for it. You'd taken your certification, your NASM, which is a tough certification. I'm not dismissive of that, but it's a serious undertaking to then take the plunge and say, I'm going to go ahead and open up a business on this.
Yes, yes, it definitely was, and I just feel like I was led to it the way it the way it happened, and I was like, man, nothing better than to help people who really want to be helped, because those are the ones that make the progress.
Yeah.
The ones that want to be helped, they make progress, and you can
Mm-hmm.
see it. It doesn't take long. You can tell who's serious and who's not. But the ones that are serious, they they come in and they execute and they make progress.
Speaking of that very thing,
Yes,
your
sir.
gym at the time when you and I first started getting to know each other last year, your gym was right around 20 members, and
Correct.
you were becoming a DECA affiliate. And
Correct.
what you just said, applied it to yourself, and you took that challenge that I gave you, the manager's challenge, and you executed, and you did what had to be done. And I want you to know,
Correct.
I don't know that I've told you this, but um, every time I talk to a gym, and I'm like, by the way, I have a challenge for you. I got lots of success stories, but my favorite is a guy with a 20-member gym that did this challenge and had 60 participants at his first DECA.
Yes, sir.
I mean, proportionally, for most gyms, that's like you having 400 or 500 at your first event, right? Because
Yes.
you tripled your entire gym population because you do one-on-one training, right? So
Yeah, I
obviously,
do one-on-one in small group, and
yeah.
only four members were from the gym. The
Wow.
others were from, I have to say, Mike was very helpful with uh getting the marketing part done for DECA.
Yeah. Mike with
He's
Mike D'Angelo would train with me that set you up in that
correct.
challenge. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. He was very helpful. So basically, he give you some homework assignments, and you just got to follow through on them. And um, I was, would have been happy with less the first time because I didn't know what to expect. I had
Yeah.
never even heard of DECA until a friend of mine said he just did a DECA event, and I was like, "What is that?" And then he explained it to me. And I was like, "Man, that sounds interesting," And I kind of just looked into it and
Yeah.
saw that you could become an affiliate, and then that's where that started. So,
Yeah.
but
And you
I have to
blew it
say
up.
that was helpful.
I mean, there's gyms 10 times your size that don't get 60 people to their first event. I mean, it was just incredible. You did exactly what you just described. You took it,
Y-
you executed, you gave no excuses, and there it was.
Yes, yes.
Tremendous results.
And sometimes you just have to give it everything you have, even if you don't know what the outcome may be.
Mm,
Sometimes a lot of times we want to know what's the outcome's going to be before putting out the work, and it just
mm.
doesn't work like that in business. At least I haven't. It hasn't worked like that for me to see results before putting in the work. So sometimes you have to go in, in the work. And some of that homework, it took a little time, um, especially doing after long hours in the gym, and then coming to do the marketing stuff from train with me, with Mike. It was still, there was some tired nights, but I still just went ahead and did it and just hope for the best. And it turned out pretty good. And we definitely, now people around us starting to, it gave us some recognition.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I love that. I tell you what, if you listen to this podcast, hit the rewind right now and listen to that again. The man just said, we
Hmm.
want to too many times. We want to know what the results will be before we put in the effort, and it just don't work that way.
Right. Yes.
That's all of life, but you applied
Yes.
it to business, You're exactly right. We sit around going, "Oh, I want to make sure it's going to work out before I
Right,
put
before
in
I
the work."
invest this work and all this time. But that's the thing that was one of the things I learned early on is when you're when you're in business, you have to work for free pretty often.
Hmm.
You're going to find yourself working for free.
That's right.
Uh, if you think you're going to get a paycheck for every hour that you put in, it's not always. There are some times when you put in 12 to 16, 18 hours in a day, and you
Yeah.
still might not make money.
All right.
I don't want to scare people off from chasing their dreams. I'm just letting you know what comes with
Yeah.
owning a business. You do not always see profits. So
Yeah.
you have to put in that work, and you have to work for free hoping you're going to make money.
That's right.
Um and that at least that has been my experience, and some other business owners that I know, they experience the same thing.
You got to
You don't.
conquer the blessing. Too many times we just want the blessing, we just want the gift, and we don't even want to have to unwrap it, but sometimes the
Right.
best blessings come in a really hard wrapping to unwrap, and we got to plow through and conquer that blessing and show that we really want it before we're going to actually receive that success.
Exactly. Exactly. And I just find that for those of you who want to, if you want to open your own gym or something else, no matter what line of work, if you chase that vision, the check comes later. The money will come later. But chase the vision, because if you chase the
Chase
money,
the vision.
you're gonna get um, disappointed. You're
Mm,
gonna have disappointment if you chase the money, because the money just does not always show up first.
yeah.
So continue chasing the vision, and and keep going from there. Because trust me, this has not been a walk in the park. Shall I say? Running the gym is not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
So again, I don't want to scare people off, but it's good to know the ups and downs. I don't want to just promote all the good things. I'll also let you know what comes with it, because you got to take the good and the bad, but chase that vision and just keep going.
Well, Terrence, I think maybe your next calling might be to be a preacher. I don't know. I mean, you
Uh,
got chase the vision, not the money. I mean, you got it. Yeah, I just love the knowledge and the wisdom and life experience you're bringing here today. So as we wrap up, I know that you're building into the future. You're building your DECA program, your gym. You're helping people. Is there any other nuggets of wisdom you want to leave with our people today?
um, I think the most thing I can kind of sum up to, you know, learn how to master patience.
Mm,
For all of the entrepreneurs out there who are either in business or want to be in business or have goals, any of that, um, learn how to master patience. Um,
mm.
so when I got on this journey, I did participated in the MS 150, where you ride your cycle from Houston to Austin.
Oh, wow.
And one thing I learned, that ride taught me so much about business,
Mm,
because I wasn't a cycler. And
yeah.
at the time when I did it, the first time I did it, I was over 300 pounds. But I rode
Mm,
that bike all the way to Houston to Austin. And
wow.
and what I learned was patience. I had to stop at every rest, and I just took my time.
Mm,
I didn't look at it like, oh, Houston to Austin, because that was defeating to tell myself Houston to Austin. That's not even possible. Why are you even doing this? Anyway, I let my wife sucker me into this one. And I'm glad she did, because there was a lesson in it beyond uh, what all happened. Now, if you saw when I crossed the finish line, I was happy had my hands up, me and my wife crossed the finish line together on the bikes. But what a lot of people didn't know is I had cramps. My
Mm.
legs just stopped moving
Mm.
and I fell off the bike. The ambulance
Oh.
had to come pick me up and they gave me some electrolytes and all this stuff. And they said, hey, you don't have to finish. You can just ride with us. And I was like, no, I'm going to sit here and take a break and let me just rejuvenate and eat. And that's what I did. And I waited about 45 minutes to an hour just sitting there. Most people would take their break and just hop on their bikes and leave. Well, I
Yeah.
knew that I was going to finish one way or another. I was going to
Mm-hmm.
finish because I was too deep. I was in it too deep.
Yeah.
And so basically what happened was after I felt better, I just hopped on the bike, made it to the next station. All I worried about was the next station. The next rest
Mm.
station was the only thing on my mind, not the finish line.
Mm.
The rest station, the nearest net rest station was all I was concerned about. And before I know it, I'm at the last one when they said, "Oh, we're at the last rest station." So I knew then the next rest station, I was done.
Yeah.
So we had they said that over 3,000 people quit that ride because it was very windy.
Mm.
They did not finish that ride that year. And
3,000.
over 3,000 of them did not finish. That's what I
Wow.
was told. I don't know where they got those stats from, but I'm assuming they got them from the event.
Yeah.
Um, but that was my first time doing it, and I I finished only because I had to stay patient. I was in
Mm.
pain and I was going through when cramps, if you ever had any leg cramps, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When that
Uh.
hamstring locks up on you, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, but people were quitting, and I'm talking people half my size,
Yeah.
and I still didn't quit. So that ride taught me about patience. So that's why I say if you learn how to master patience, you kind of have to have that no matter what happens. I'm just going to keep going, even if I don't know what's going to be at the end. Even though in the midst of it, it looks like it's not going to end well for you. You still
Right.
have to find a way to keep going. If you can do that, you can pretty much reach any of your goals.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
Tremendous wisdom.
Yes.
Tremendous. Those bite-sized chunks, staying patient, not having it all at once, and being willing to get out of the ambulance and finish the race when
Yes.
everybody else is quitting.
That's right. That's right.
Who does
Yeah.
that?
So, yeah, I finished that race. Yes, I did. Yeah, I finished,
After
and I
spending
have to
45
give.
minutes in the ambulance,
Yeah,
you finished the
yeah.
race.
Well, they
That's
they were the
crazy.
ambulance were on the bikes also. So
Oh,
when they saw me fall, they came and helped me up. They didn't. It wasn't an ambulance, but they did offer to. They have the SAG trucks that would
yeah.
take you to when if you decide you don't want to do anymore.
Mm.
Um, so I just chose not to do it. And besides, I couldn't let my wife do it and me not do it because I would have never heard the end of that. So that was part of the motivation too. I'm gonna just, I'm just being honest with you. Uh, I couldn't let her do it. I don't care what happened to me. If I didn't finish that ride and she did, oh, I was not gonna hear the end of that, and I wasn't gonna give that to her. So, so I have to give her a lot of that credit as well because that was part of my motivation. I was like, oh no, we started this together. You are not going to do this and me not. I'll have to hear this
Mm.
all the way until the next event, which is once a year. No, I could.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Yeah, I couldn't let her have that. No.
It was less painful to get back on that bike in
Yes,
the
it
Texas
was.
sun than it was.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So, but yes, I tell her all the time. I said, man, if you didn't, I don't know if I would have finished if because
Mm.
I didn't want to keep going, but I also
Yeah.
knew. you know, uh, that I would have had that to deal with. But also, in all jokes aside, it was once I had got so far, I was like, I could not stop. I can't
You
not
can't go
finish.
back.
It's going to take more than that fall to make me quit. So
Yeah.
and after that, I just kept going, and I've done it. I've done it again as well, and I cramped again when I did it the next time.
Mm.
But it was much easier mentally the next time because I was like, next rest stop, next
Yeah.
rest stop. So the same thing with your whatever your goal is, get to the end of that day. Just get through that day. Then worry about the
Yeah.
next. Just get through that day or get through that week, and just keep going.
That's right.
Yes.
That is a beautiful thing. Terrence, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate all the wisdom and your story sharing with us. God bless you as you continue to change lives down there in Katy, Texas.
Yes.
Uh, Anybody that's within a couple hours of Katy, Texas, I hope they will come down and to your next DECA event and enjoy being there with you as well.
It was definitely a pleasure here. Hoping someone was inspired. So this was definitely an honor. So I greatly appreciate it, and God bless you and your family.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to another episode of Ricardo's Rules of Resilience, the podcast that gives you the tools to withstand and recover from difficulties. Go be resilient.
Thank you.